Welcome to this week's episode of the Shut the Hell Up and Sell podcast. My name is Ronell Richards. I am your host and the author of Just Shut the Hell Up and Sell, for God's sakes. That's what we're about. I want you guys to say a little less, sell a lot more. And in my effort to help you in that regard, each week, I am joined by some rock star leaders in the world of sales, here to share their truth with you, here to share stories, here to help educate you, help arm you up so that you can be the very best seller and business leader that you can possibly be. This week, I am joined by my friend, Mr. Doug Lehman. What's going on, Doug?
What it do, Ronell? First of all, let's get to it. Congrats on the book.
Thank you,
in
sir.
Bourbon, taking it to the fundamental print here. Love it.
Thank you, sir. Well, you know, we're doing a little something now. For those of you guys that aren't watching this on video, what are you doing? Go watch the video. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify, which, yeah, guys, Spotify has video now, and you can go to our website. If you're checking out the video, you're going to see that Doug is swagged out, and I love it. Doug, what you got over your shoulder?
Well, I've got over here, I've got the screen playing, the layman's terms little logo, but I've got the Solutions Monster, which is part of the book. You got to get the book. Go over here with the headset.
Love it.
We're going to keep it 100 as we always do when it comes to business and bourbon in layman's terms. But my favorite thing, again, this is a visual. That's why you got to check out the video. I got the hoodie from Shut the Hell Up and Sell, and I'm excited.
Yes, sir.
It fits. It's comfortable, heavy cotton. It's good material, red and black. And I got a little Youngstown representing on top of that because I know Ronell has ties from there too as well. But no, man, it's a visual element we got to play to the crowd. So let's play to Ronell and his great work in his book in Business and Bourbon. So let's go.
Man, I love it. Of course, I love the sweatshirt. By the way, guys, you can go pick that up at the website, shutthehellupandsell.com. Go get you one of these hoodies. But Doug has the Youngstown Steak. Shout out to the yo.
That's right.
And all of my family up around that way. Doug, you are absolutely a monster in the world of video and video sales and communicating messages and helping leaders like myself to be better at communicating message through video. So I'm really stoked to get into this. As I'm stealing your thunder, my first question for you is, Doug, can you tell the people what it is that you do?
What I do is, and thank you for the introduction in your end. What I do is I'm passionate about leveraging all things video, social, and sales. And when I mean sales, I primarily work with sales and service leaders doing short form videos, whether it's editing their podcast, their video podcast, doing video case studies, video testimonials, doing events, and mainly sales and service conferences. Why do I do sales and service industries and why not weddings? It's because I'm a salesman and I understand that industry. You're not hiring me to film weddings. I'm not a filmmaker. I'm a dude that picked up a camera 8-10 years ago from a sales background, made it happen before, well, it's the norm. So it's sales and service, but short form videos telling stories. And what resonates is testimonials. And quite frankly, the voice of the customer.
Wow, Doug, here's why that is so powerful. You said you're creating video with the background of a seller. You are a salesman. You have the mindset of a salesman. Here's why that is so important, ladies and gentlemen. It's because, anyone can pick up a camera. Anyone can make a video. Anyone can pull up an app and start editing some things. But if you don't understand what a successful outcome is, and you can't execute a video in a way to produce a successful outcome, a successful sales outcome, then what the hell are you doing? If you're making videos for business, you really need somebody that understands how to leverage those videos in a proper way to actually sell something. Otherwise, it's just like narcissistic, like video making, right? Like go make some, if that's what you guys want to do, go make some TikToks.
Yeah, it's random acts of video.
Random, I like that. Random acts of video.
Videos for different things. TikTok has this, but what you said, but I'll let you take it from there. But yeah,
no, I'm just saying, hey, TikTok's we know a lot of our friends that are doing some great work on TikTok as a sales tool. I'm just saying, if you're just about like, hey, the narcissistic stuff, go make some dance videos on TikTok. What's trending right now? Whatever.
Exactly.
whatever that stuff is. All right, Doug. So I want to jump straight into it, man.
Okay.
I want to know when you first started your sales career. Like, tell me what your first sales job was. We want to put numbers to it. We want to put dates to it. And here's the reason why. For those of you that listen to this podcast, you understand that we are about evangelizing for this beautiful profession. We want to be proud. Every one of those years you get to notch off on your belt, you should be proud of. And we want to embrace that on this show. So, Doug, where did it start for you?
Well, the first sales job, and I'll put numbers to the second one and I'll make it quick, keep it moving. But first sales job was selling program and advertising space for Youngstown State University, selling the game day programs, the sponsorships for the football, baseball, and basketball teams. So you had a program, but this is when print was big. You got sponsorships. My job was to call on local businesses in Youngstown, Northeast Ohio, and give them to a print ad space. Now, it was somewhat easy because at that time, Youngstown State was undefeated the year before. They lost in the tournament.
Yeah.
So everybody was excited about their first title. And I'm dating myself. It's one AA thing. Point was going out to local businesses in an area that I didn't know anything about because I grew up in South Bend, Indiana, but Youngstown's a different animal. But anyway, just selling advertising space, sponsorships for the human will of the team, tying it back to numbers, corporate, let's just say B2B, because that was a little bit young age. Corporate guy working for Sun Microsystems, now Oracle, at the time it was Storage Tech, held a book of business and sold data center support contracts, maintenance contract. Your data center's down, you need it to be fixed. Yeah. That was tied to a revenue goal, and that was a job where I was inside as well as outside. And that's what we called it back then, inside sales, not BDR, BDM, and all this isolation thing.
We got lots of acronyms now.
But we held the book of business, we did the demo, and we closed the damn deal, and we worked it for team. That was tied of numbers. That was a great gig. That ran for 6 years, and I really enjoyed the interaction through sales, having a book of business and establishing new business, selling technology.
So, and let's put a date to that. You were at Sun Microsystems. That was your first corporate carry a bag gig. How long have you been in the game now?
From corporate standpoint, probably 25 to 30 years.
There we
I've
go.
sold pagers.
Yeah.
SkyTel two-way pagers out of the airport in Atlanta Hartsfield. Now, Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson or whatever it's called. That's how date goes that bad. But the real corporate thing where you were married to a metrics and everything, that was definitely Sun and Storage Tech.
All right. We got a PhD. We got a PhD on the line right now, guys. So pay close attention. BDRs, SDRs, DDRs, GGRs. I just made those ones up.
No,
what the hell? Those are probably
however you want to take it. When is it just sales? And I get it. But that's another conversation.
Well, we went from the transition, I think, of inside or outside to account executives. That was probably 15 to 20 years ago. So account executives and I got to tell you, I got to be honest. When I got my first job as an account executive, I felt pretty important. I'm an executive.
Right, yeah.
And so I guess it worked. maybe that's the reason why we do it. I don't know. So take me back to Youngstown State. And take me back to that first, selling the programs, selling advertising. Tell me, what did you learn back then? I find that some of the best lessons for me in sales, I learned at the very beginning. What did you learn back then that you think you've kind of taken to today that still is part of your philosophy that you learned while out there selling programs for Youngstown State or advertising?
The thing I learned is when you talk to a local business, every business has their own story. Yeah, they saw the print. Hey, I can get in the advertisement and can you get me some tickets? Can you hook me up with some tickets? There was always an underlying story. It's about building goodwill and advertisement. If in a restaurant had an ad spot they wanted to run in the program, what was their game? But there was always a story behind the story. Some people would say, yeah, goodwill, I'll put an advertisement in, no biggie, don't really expect a return on investment. Other people are like, look, this is a way for me to get more butts and seats at my restaurant on a Saturday night when there's nothing else to do, come to my restaurant. So it's always what you learn is by asking your clients and customers. And that's why this book is great, because you shut up and sell and you listen. But you at a young age, at an impressionable age of a college student, I learned the fact that you learn from your clients on what they want from the value. Yeah, you're selling an ad spot, that's the give, but what problem does it solve? Or better yet, what solution does it
Yeah.
help them with?
Man, this seems to be an overwhelming thing that I'm hearing from the different leaders like yourself that I'm interviewing on this podcast, is that when they go back to kind of where they started their sales career, there's just a heavy emphasis on relationship building and connecting with people and understanding their stories.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that seems to make a lot of sense, that it's a common denominator between all of you leaders that are here, 10, 20, 30 years in the game and successful in sales, and having that as part of your fundamental truth. And that's what we talk about. That's what we talk about the book. By the way, Doug, thanks for that product placement. Doug's got the book up at the Times, and he's got everything.
Got to go to Amazon and do a review. I just had to get it in. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, sir. I think I'm going to outfit your studio. I'm going to start just sending you stuff, just like shut the hell up and sell swag for everything. Like I'm just going to. So,
Right on.
All right, Doug. So my next question for you. You learned probably the same way that I did. Mostly through the coaching and mentorship and leadership of others that either took a liking to us or didn't take a liking to us, but we learned something nonetheless.
Right.
At this part of the podcast, this is when I want to give you the opportunity to shout out somebody that made an impact in your career. Man, that can be anybody that you want. It could be, whether they made a major impact and mentored you for years, or maybe they gave you a kind word that just never left you. Who's that person you'd like to shout out?
I'm going to give, I'll make it quick, 2 people. And unfortunately, both of them are not here with us today. Barb Giamanco, who was a sales trailblazer, women in sales. She passed away in 2017. She was the first person that says, you need to make a stake in leveraging video to sell. And this is 2012. She was writing books on social selling. That's actually how I met Sander, one of your previous guests, through Barb. But Barb was well endowed, well connected in the industry when it comes to social selling. She says, you need to play the video spin. She's the one that pushed me and took a shot at me as an entrepreneur, because I went from corporate Doug to going out on my own. She pushed it. Fast forward. My significant other I lived with for 5.5 years, an actress, an acting coach, Sherry Richardson. She passed away. She was in film and production, and she taught me the authenticity of being real on camera, no fake smiles. I'm ever indebted for her, because she taught me the script side, the film side, not the business side, but the coming across on camera. These are 2 people that I, in my book, they're in my forward, which I'm working on. But those 2 have been indebted to me, because unfortunately they're no longer here, but their legacy took a shot on me and coached me.
Wow. That's powerful. I'm supposed to say rest in power to both those wonderful ladies, Sherry and Barb. And I'll just say that, first of all, thanks for your vulnerability and sharing that with us, Doug.
It's like the first time I've really brought that out full circle, but I felt as I'm reflecting on writing, they keep coming back. Yeah.
That's impact, guys. Like, that is something that is, it's going to happen to all of us at some point, right? Like, what sort of impact are you leaving on the people that are around you? And here, in the world that we occupy here in sales, we have an opportunity, a unique opportunity, in that we interface and we engage with so many people. What do people think of you? What impact are you leaving with those people? Are you just selling some shit and then you're out the door? Well, if that's what you're doing, you're not leaving a lasting impact. You're not. Oh man, Doug, you got me a little bit, man.
Well, I
got to be straight
because
up.
I'm trying to celebrate the legacy of what they've done, and those 2 were pinnacle for me.
Wow.
Starting the whole layman's terms agenda, from a corporate sales guy to the video guy, breaking it down, and all that being beside. Without Sherry, there wasn't a script or structure for layman's terms. Without Barb, there wasn't somebody saying, dude, you need to take this social selling and put it on video. Without those 2, who knows? Had a lot of great mentors. As you know, I worked at Outbound Sales Conference, a local guy here in Atlanta, Victor Antonio, been a godsend to me. like an
Yeah.
older brother to me, helping me out with video content. He crushes it. Taught a lot of great speakers and trainers, but I reflect on realness. And somebody like you, I mean, back to what you do from an entrepreneur side, from your book, I'm gassing you up. Point is, people like that, you gravitate in numbers. So I can't define it as one. Those two ladies obviously come out to me because
Yeah.
they're not here, but two, their legacy has made an impact on me and
Yes. There you
others.
go. And I can't think of anyone that is more worthy or deserving of those shout outs, man. So again, thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for sharing. It's storytelling time. It's
Absolutely. Let's
storytelling
break it.
time. Now let's tell a story, man. Now, if you guys have read the book, great. Thank you. I appreciate you. If you've not read the book, what the hell are you doing? Get the book, go read it. Get the book, please get the book. What you'll find out is that there's a lot of storytelling in there. And I find that storytelling to be one of the best ways to learn, and to teach. And so, through in the book, I'm telling stories to help people to better understand the philosophy that I have that fuels the sales tactic and strategy that's in the second part of the book. So with each of my guests, I've asked them to share a story from their career. Tell me something, Doug, share a story with me of something that happened to you, whether it could have been negative in the moment, could have been positive in the moment, but long term, it's made an indelible mark on you, and it has shaped form how you operate and how you do business.
I'll share a story from a business case perspective that's made an impact to me. And we talked about me working at Sun Microsystems, and I was doing B2B selling, data story, maintenance, support contracts. My first week on the job, new to B2B selling, I had to shadow. Actually, I reported to the service manager who managed all the operations and technical engineers. He managed the data centers, whether it's Coke, Cisco, whatever company it was. He managed the territory, and I was his right-hand man growing revenue. The first time we went out on a call with a client, he brought me in, introduced me to everybody. But when he walked in that room, and Grant, this is just a service manager. I hate to say just service because he had definitely had credibility. He introduced me to everybody on that team, the decision maker, the CIO, the users of the product, the receptionist, the people who were the technical buyer, all 5 types of buyers. He had a relationship. And what I learned from that experience from him was he knew each and every person in the room and how to present to them. Of course, we had another salesperson along with me, and their job was selling new product and new hardware, ripping out what I had on contract and putting something new. So maybe there was a conflict, but I watched the way this service manager, his name was Jim Meckley, worked the room, level set everybody in the room. They didn't have to like him, but they sure as hell respected him and they trusted him. But he spoke to everybody in the room. So I always took that away from me. Anytime I'm in sales, and you're in a group environment, you've got to know each and every buyer because they're all influence the decision. A lot of people go right to the top and they don't look at people that are maybe the influencer, the buyer, the wife, or the husband of the product or service. You've got to know your playbook at all levels. And I just learned that. I learned his realness for everybody in the room. And he earned that. But at the same time, I was like, that's the way you got to be instead of going in with your selfish agenda for one person.
How do you think that lesson has impacted your career?
I'm always, when I'm in a room, I'm trying to survey the room of a meeting. Let's just say a room. I'm used the word room or any type of proposal. It's just made me more thoughtful and a hell of a lot more thorough. Because you never know who's going to make that impact. We've all been through those presentations. You think, well, kill that demo, kill that presentation. Crickets, nothing happened because the person you talked to wasn't the decision maker. You didn't realize, rookie mistake. You've done that. So what I've learned is to just checks and balances, and it comes to rapport building. Obviously, going back to shut the hell up and sell, there's a lot of lessons learned in there about building relationships and honoring what you're supposed to do. Because I'm a firm believer that if they don't buy today, they may buy tomorrow. They may know somebody that will buy yesterday.
Wow. And wow. So good stuff, Doug. And that ties in so well with, I think, the principles that are in the book and that I'm teaching in the book. And, this kind of came to me the other day that what we're really doing is trying to help people to not be a better seller, but I'm trying to help them to build a sales business. Right.
Right.
And so doing the things that you're talking about, right? Like making sure that you're engaging with everyone that's in the room. These are things that someone that is focused on building a successful business, a long-term business would do. And these are the types of things that are in the book. Like that's what it's, I guess that's why kind of how I look at things differently than a lot of trainers and coaches out there, because, the focus again, with a lot of trainers and coaches is how to become a better seller. I don't look at it like that way. What I'm teaching you, and when you listen to folks like Doug, these sorts of strategies, what it's going to teach you, or philosophies, it's going to teach you how to build a successful sales business. Your sales business will transcend the company that you're working at. It will transcend the job that you currently have. It will transcend the role that you're currently in. This is stuff that will stay with you forever.
You're not, your perspective. I'm not looking for the transitional one quick hitter. I'm looking for the long haul. I'm trying to build establishing thing. And stuff I've been really grooving on lately is post-sales engagement, video, social proof, and things of that nature, because keeping your clients happy, as you know, Ron, the best customer, your best sales team is your current clients and customers if they're advocates.
Heck yeah.
So how do we position that? We don't spend enough time training on that. We spend more time on, I get it, new business is your pipeline. Hell yeah, new business development. But if you're not looking at what you currently have to make that better, to get those clients and customers to be advocates to sell, you're missing the upsell. You're missing a hell of a lot of stuff. We don't teach on that. We don't enough on that. I said we do, but not enough in the training perspective.
Well, Doug, I would agree with you 130%. That's right. More than 100%, guys. That's an extra 30%. Right we're keeping it 130. You got the 100 behind you. I'm getting 130 behind me.
I got you. All right.
All right. So no, here and Doug, I think part of the reason why this happens is because this is part of corporate training culture. And guys, hear me out on this. I have no problem with corporate training culture. Well, a little bit of problem, but not a lot of problem. Here's why. Companies are going to train you in the way that best suits their organization. Okay. And so they're going to train you in strategies to get you successful as quickly as possible and then move on to the next one. Right. Because they don't know if you're going to be around 90 days from now. They don't know if you're going to make it 30 days. They don't know if you're going to make, so they have to train you and create an environment that helps you to be as successful as quickly as possible and move on to the next one. And they will step in and own that relationship, not you. What I'm coaching and teaching you guys, and what Doug is talking about right now, is when you're focused on creating a sales business for yourself, you're going to do all of these things like really intently focus on a relationship, build these advocates through focusing on relationships that are going to create your own business within the business. Right. So like, at some might say that's a bit at odds with corporate training. Yeah, it is. But I mean, until somebody's paying, I'm not getting paid by AT&T or whatever other big company to toe their company line. So on this podcast, from my mouth, from the mouths of our guests, you're going to learn what it takes to really be successful in building a sales business, not just to be a better seller. That's short term. We're not talking short term. We're talking long term on this. Doug, this brings me to my next question for you. Now it's time, buddy. Let's get tactical.
All right.
Let's get tactical. I would like you to please share some specific prescriptive tactical advice or direction. I need people to take something from this episode that they can apply immediately to their sales business and be more successful. What you got?
I think the first thing is, I'm going to play it on the word research and visual social proof. If you're an entrepreneur or small business owner, which is another thing, if you don't have a footprint with visual social proof, you're missing out on an opportunity because people are going to Google you and do that. That goes without saying. You've had a number of great branding experts on your Business and Bourbon and this show as well. Visual social proof, social watching. Outline in your book when you talk about finding that ICP and putting everything in the holistic approach of who your clients are. I use the phrase social watching. For me to interview a client or customer, and I'm just talking about for my freelance production side for this example here, I'm going to go there and I'm going to watch their content. I'm going to watch their videos. I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm going to go back 5-6 years. I'm going to learn how they speak. How do they look on camera? Their vernacular. I'm going to mirror their mannerisms. So when I present to them, we do that. We hear the term social listening, going out and looking for those trigger points and post on social media. That's great. Let's up it a little bit and start looking for those visual elements, because people are a little bit more open when they're on video. Because if I hear an audio thing or print, maybe that's a ghostwriter. I don't know. But if somebody's on camera speaking directly through a video, I get a sense of them. So the concept of social watching for research is just not for promotional reasons or the proposal. Look at it from a research perspective.
I like that. So, yeah, I think that in sales, a lot of we don't. I hate using a lot. Let me take that back. That's too general. We don't do enough research, right, on our prospects before we show up. So what you do is you're checking videos, you're analyzing the video content that your prospect is putting out, and so that you can be better suited to present to them and speak their language. That's what I'm hearing.
100%. Right? It's just another technique. We kind of go deep first past the second page of Google, but I think video, in fact, I know video is a great way because it's obviously with YouTube, second largest search engine, whatever the case is, that authentic, that engagement, we get all that with video, but there's stories within that video.
So what if my prospect doesn't make videos? Like, what should I be doing for research?
If they don't make research, I mean, that's the same thing as, company white papers, questions. And the best thing I think is interviewing your clients and customers. I just got on a podcast, listened to a podcast the other day of Katie, Kevin Dorsey, and Victor Antonio, and they were talking about 5-6 magic questions you got to ask each and one of your customers. You've got to ask the right questions. Goes back to discovery. We all make these assumptions in sales that we know everything about our customer and everything else until you ask them and hear it from their resource. Be it a video would be nice, audio would be nice, text. Ask them. It's the way we've been since caveman times. Have a conversation with them, frame the message, and ask them the questions. You got to come in, which is what I love about this book is don't come in so assumed. Shut your mouth and listen and be able to have an idea of what they're saying. So
it's so hard.
I don't know if that answered your question. I kind of took it a roundabout way, but it's art of questioning.
Yeah, I got an additional question for you.
Sure.
Guys, you guys are getting a bonus today. You're getting a bonus. It's usually one, but you guys are getting a bonus. All right. So you're Mr. Video, man. And in terms of using it as a tool for sales and for branding, say there's someone that's listening, they're a salesperson, and they've never made a video. They've never posted a video on social. This is your expertise, creating videos, leveraging them on social. What's some simple advice you could give to me, the seller that has never posted anything? What should I post on my first video?
Well, think about the concept of video. Maybe you can do a screenshot of your webinar. Start out small, maybe a framed picture with your voice. Still gives you the leverage of SEO with video. That's a starting point. The other thing is get in the comfort zone. We all have a cell phone. Practice doing the selfies around yourself and practice with your peers to get started. Nothing stops without a start, right? So, or not, you know what I mean? The point is you got to have that action. You got to be proactive. So start small and work your reps in. It doesn't happen overnight. Some people hit it, some people don't.
Yeah.
But visual elements, pictures, you don't even have to be on the video. You can have your clients and customers sell on your behalf. It comes to post sales, customer testimonials, user generated contests. Maybe have a contest about your business. Maybe Ronell doesn't want to do a book review or talk about his book. Maybe he'll have a contest and his readers will do video books on his behalf. It's getting the message out through video. So you don't have to be in the video. Now, I recommend doing it, but there's starting points. So 1, you don't have to be on video. 2, you can just do text. 3, you can just do audio. Or 3, just start slow.
Nice. I love it. Take your lumps, guys. This is great advice from one of the best at it. So the best thing you can do is go out there and do it.
I don't say to Nike, just do it. But the point is get your reps in, start small.
Yeah.
Think about the pandemic. A lot of people that weren't doing it all of a sudden just put, oh my God, I'm on this Zoom call or this Teams call and got the webcam, and you see the progressions in people being made. And some people are like, I'm not going back to it. That's cool. Get somebody that does that. I mean, I just think that video is such an opener. And,
Mm-hmm.
from me connecting with you, and I've gone back and watched other episodes of Shut the Hell Up and Sell. Wesley and Greer, I had a chance to interview that dynamic lady back in 2021 through the Sales Experts channel, just name dropping, but she's effervescent on camera. Saw her get a reps in. James Say What Sells Buckley, interviewed him at the Outbound Sales Conference. There's a guy that's not afraid of putting up the camera and talking,
Mm-hmm.
One, Sander Bean, I'll just go back to that. And I'm just name dropping here, but you got to check out the previous show. Sander, him and I were in a video contest on how to leverage social selling to sell. We had to put a video in for the contest. Neither one of us won. We should have won. That's another story. But Sander hired me to do video production work for Thought Horizon back in 2014.
Yeah.
These
Which
are all
contest was
people.
that?
What's that?
What contest was that?
It was a contest for Sales of Life, a social selling training company out of Canada. And they had a contest called Selling with the Shark. So they had a Shark Tank of 10 experts, and 10 candidates submitted a video on how they use social selling. I talked about how I use video to social sell. And I'm going to re-air that because all the effects was, and remember, this is 2013. Well, Doug's doing this green screen stuff, and I don't know if it's scalable. And I heard all the negativity. It's a great idea. And I talked about how to use a video to get an appointment. Sander talked about his blog content at AT&T, had it documented, came with the stats. He's a real analytical guy. He nailed it. And there was 10 of us, and the guy that won it did a tweet to Delta about not getting his airfare on time or something. It was like, are you kidding me? Here's Sander and I giving hard content. I'm laughing. I'm talking about, this isn't cutting edge now, but I'm talking about shooting video to your client in 2014 or whatever to get an impression.
Yeah.
Now it's like, whatever, Vidyard, co-video, our friends, whatever the case is. But it was just like telling the story visually. Now it's the norm. So how do we up that?
Yeah. I love it, man. What you guys are hearing is that Doug's been in this game for a minute, man, and longer than many people in the not just the video creation world, but specifically leveraging as a tool for sales. So this is a voice that you need to listen to, you need to pay attention to. And Doug's all over the place, man. He's doing all over the place in a good way. He does great work with the Atlanta Braves. He does great hosting and emceeing for conferences like Outbound. I'm seeing you all over, man. And I want people to know what's the best way to get a hold of you if they need help with their companies. They need help with video. They need you to host or MC. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
100% LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn as you do as well, but LinkedIn, send me an invite. Let's connect. Send me a video message or an audio message. I'll go deep into that. I'd love to have the conversation, but LinkedIn, Doug at DougLehman.com is my email, Twitter, Instagram, and eventually TikTok. I know a video guy, not leveraging TikTok as well, but it's coming. But, in Twitter, I resurgence for that. You can talk how you want. I think it's a great microblogging platform. I put a ton of video on Twitter because it's easy. I upload it. There it is. LinkedIn, I kind of think I analyze a little bit in the metrics of LinkedIn. Is this a good time? Twitter, I don't care.
Okay.
And that's the thing, what you do so well with Ronell and his business in bourbon and his content, whether it's entrepreneurship, coaching, sales training, leadership. Dude's always putting content out there. You don't skip a beat. And it's behind the scenes. It's at events like Business in Bourbon, like his book, like this pie. You don't sleep on it, but you also show that behind the scenes, that family moment with your wife, your kids. Yeah, this is a real dude, man, and he's not faking the funk on video. So, props.
Well,
to you.
Thanks, Doug. I appreciate you saying that, man. But this is about you.
All right, well,
you're awesome.
All right,
I appreciate you, my friend.
Checks in the mail.
This is check us in the mail. I love it. This has been a great interview, and I appreciate your time. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you are reaching out to Doug. You connect with him. His information will be in the show notes as well. Again, if you want to know about video, you want to be better at this, you need some help with your company, Doug's your guy. All right, guys, we are at the end of another wonderful episode. And I just want to thank you as always for taking the time to hang out with us. There is nothing more valuable than time. And the fact that you have chosen to gift us your time means the world to me. And I thank you. So as I always end our podcast, I will end with these few words, my friends. Shh. Say less, sell more. Peace out. Go Bucks! Hey guys, it's Ronell, and I just wanted to thank you for listening to this episode of the Shut the Hell Up and Sell podcast. If you liked it, please rate us 5 stars on whichever podcasting platform you're listening to this on. And while you're at it, punch that subscribe button. That way you get notified every time we drop a brand new episode. Hey, I'd also appreciate it if you went to our website, shutthehellupandsell.com, and became a member. It's absolutely free, and you'll have the opportunity to listen to previous episodes of our podcast, check out some of our free courses, get a copy of the book, and we'll send you sales tips and motivational nuggets from time to time. Lastly, if you'd like to book me for either appearances or speaking engagements, just send an email to my team at team@shutthehellupandsell.com.